No, I said he's backed by popular demand. He's always here every Wednesday, but I meant the issue is backed by popular demand. I'm talking here, of course, by our resident Wordsmith Kel Richards. He took us back to school for a bit of a pronunciation lesson. There's a groundswell of popular support to get back on that topic again, Kel. A lot of my viewers have sent us in words. They went wild for it last week. You've got a masterclass with a whole lot of new words today. Take us through it.
Okay, yes, a tsunami of emails came in, I have to say. People who say remuneration instead of remuneration. Now, they said to me, why is that going on? It's something that used to be called years ago a class marker. In other words, this is the kind of mistake children make. They're not corrected by parents. They're not corrected by teachers. And it used to indicate that they were from a fairly uneducated class. I still don't understand why people can make that mistake if they're the least bit educated because they can't write the word like that. The next one that comes up is someone talked about why do people say fifth instead of fifth? And so they're talking about the number 5 and they leave out the F in the middle and they say fifth. Now, I said last week, these things are caused by a lazy mouth or a lazy mind, and this is a lazy mouth. It's just someone not bothering to bring their bottom lip up to their teeth and make the F sound in the middle. Then there was a viewer who said, when did normality become normalcy? Well, some bad news about this. The first is normalcy is listed in the dictionaries as a real word, but it's an American word, and even in America, it's fairly rare. Recorded from the late 18th century, from 19th century, from about 1857, but it's still not recorded often. It's American. People say normalcy. I'm sorry, if you're not carrying an American passport, you're not allowed to. Normality is the normal word in British and Australian English. Now, a Scottish one. I got an email from a bloke who said, my wife, Margaret, and I are both from Scotland, and we don't understand what the past participle of the verb to plead is. Do we say someone pled guilty or they pleaded guilty? Now, pled guilty is really common in 2 places, Scotland and America. You come from Scotland. That's why you expect pled guilty. But in fact, in British and Australian English, it is pleaded guilty. So don't say pled guilty if you're in Australia. I mean, I understand that that's your Scottish heritage, but stick to the Australian pleaded guilty. Burglar, why do people say burglar? That is, again, it's a bit like nuclear. It's a bit difficult to explain. They are obviously mucking up particular syllables, and it's annoying for us. It's not spelt that way. They wouldn't spell it that way. It's like people who seem to not be able to get their tongue around the word correctly. That's a really weird one. Yep. Someone said, what's the difference between hung and hang? They have different meanings. Paintings are hung. People are hanged. Unless you're talking about capital punishment, it's hung all the time. So what else can I mention? The T in often. There is no T pronounced in often if you're speaking British or Australian English. In America, both are said. Some Americans say often, some say often. But in British and Australian English, we always say often. Now, your question was about contrast with or contrast to. Fowler and his great guide to style is contrast with.
By contrast or in contrast.
Yes. When I looked up Fowler about this years ago, early in the 20th century, he did all this very well. He talked about it is in contrast with something. That's what Fowler said. Now, if we're going to stick to Fowler, that's what we need to say, and he was pretty smart about English style. Have I got time to do one more, or are we running out of time?
We're running out of time, but there are more because my phone's already got some that have come through. People know you're on Wednesday night. We'll run another night of pronunciation next Wednesday, Kel. How about that? People love it.
We'll do it. We'll do a third week on pronunciation and wrap it all up. How about that?
Beautiful. Terrific. Have a good weekend. Have a good week. See you next week. All right, that's it. Isn't he good? I love him here on Credlin.